Hello friends, it's me, Shin, and today I'm coming to you from the Resorts World Las Vegas, where I'm going to VIVA by Ray Garcia for the first time. Really happy to have you along. I'll see you inside. All right, everyone, and here I am seated at VIVA by Ray Garcia. Located right at the entrance of the restaurant district here at the Resorts World. A lively bar up front with an intimate dining space in the back, comfy booths and half booths, with a lot of fun Latin music playing, a nice vibe in here. Now, regardless of the vibes, you know it's all about the food for me, so let's take a look at what they have to eat on the menu. So here is your menu at VIVA. I'm going to start off with the beverages. Feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. You have cocktails up here at the top, and you have a tequila list down here. Looking really nice. And you've got your list of beers down here. Your mezcal and agave here. And your sangria and your other drinks down here. And that is your beverage menu here at VIVA. Now it is a weekday and I've got work early in the morning, and so no drinking for me tonight, just a Diet Coke. Let's take a look at what they have to eat next. Okie dokie, so here is your menu at VIVA. Let's go and take a look at the appetizers to start. Chips and salsa. Okay, so they do charge for chips and salsa here. Hopefully it's really, really good. Guacamole, chicharrones, queso fundido, that looks all really nice. You've got your crudos here. Tuna tostada, ceviche, that looks awesome. You've got your salads here, arugula, piña asada, interesting. And you have your entrees here, tamale, quesadilla, queso, baja tacos. Yeah, this all looks really good. And then you have your special plates over here, your enchiladas de pollo, camarones a la diabla. Yeah, this is looking really nice. And your carne asada down here, you got a skirt steak, a filet mignon, as well as a New York strip. And your sides here as well, tortillas, rice, beans, potatoes. And that is your menu here at VIVA. A lot of good looking options here at VIVA, and plenty I'm looking forward to trying today. And you know how it goes in my videos, every restaurant is a buffet if you're willing to pay. I'm gonna get a nice variety, and together we'll see what VIVA is all about. Appetizers are coming up first. I'll see you a little bit when they arrive. And welcome back, everyone. My appetizers got here, and this is looking pretty good. Let me give you a view. I got an order of their guacamole, as well as their chicharrones, their queso fundido, as well as their tuna tostada. This is all looking really good. Let's give it a try. First off, the queso fundido. This is served alongside some corn tortillas. And while this is a vegetarian dish, you have the option of adding chorizo. And I've got this tortilla loaded up here. Queso fundido. Oh, that is very good. Very nice corn tortilla here. It's soft and pliable, still has a nice corn flavor to it. These are some great tortillas. The queso fundido has so much flavor. You can really taste all of the complexity in the layers here. Initially, you get the mild flavors of the cheese. It's very rich, good salty flavor. Just a little bit of tang on the back end of that cheese also. The cheese blend here is very good. There's something like a tomato relish here, and it's very flavorful. Just a little bit sweet, a nice amount of acid from that as well. This tomato layer is very good. After the sweetness of that tomato, you are greeted by a spicy heat coming from these poblanos, and it all rounds out with a bit of a nutty sweetness from the caramelized onions. Nice depth of flavor, very complex queso fundido, and this is vegetarian to boot. A really good dish right there. I like that a lot. Next up, the chicharrones. Got some fried pork skins here. I'm going to dip it into the accompanying sauce. Let's give it a taste. Okay, yeah, that was pretty good. You effectively have pork rinds here. Nice, airy fried pork skins. They have a nice savory flavor to them, and they've been infused with just a little bit of lime juice. I like that quite a bit. A nice touch of acid there. Now, the whole plate does come with more than just pork rinds. There's chicken skins, crab chips, shrimp chips as well, and all of them do taste great. I gotta talk about this habanero hot sauce. It is incredibly spicy, but really addicting. Nice thick red hot sauce, though a lot of flavor to go along with that spice. This is well seasoned. There's also a little bit of garlic here. Some nice flavors in this habanero hot sauce. It certainly pairs along with these fried skins really well. A nice little appetizer right there. Next up, the guacamole. Served along with chips. We're gonna go and give it a bit of a dip here. I'm always a fan of a good guacamole. Let's see how it is. You know, I gotta say, I've got some mixed feelings on this one. Now, the guacamole itself is actually pretty good. Rich and creamy avocados have been mashed here very well. And there is an appropriate amount of spice here. Some nice diced up jalapenos are providing some good kick. A well-seasoned guacamole here also. Though in general, it is a tad on the sour side. I think they went a little heavy-handed with the lime juice. Now, what I really don't like are the chips. This is a bit surprising. I thought that they would have incredible chips, given that I did like those corn tortillas from the queso fundido earlier, and I thought they would have just cut those up and fried them in-house. But these very much taste and feel like store-bought tortilla chips. Not even a great brand at that. These chips are relatively bland. While they're lightly seasoned with salt, the corn flavor is definitely lost. It leaves a lot to be desired when it comes to the entire package. That's a bit of a shame because the guacamole is pretty good. All right, everyone, and the last appetizer I'm trying today at Viva is gonna be their tuna tostada. A nice looking tuna tostada here. It certainly has some colorful toppings, and hopefully it's good. Tuna tostada. Okay, yes, that's good. Not much to say about the tostada. I don't taste it at all in the bite, though I do appreciate its crunchy texture. That is nice. I think the flavor that caught me off guard the most was a very citrusy, sour note right at the beginning. It very much has the acidic tartness of yuzu. I'm curious if that's part of the marinade or one of the other ingredients here. I do really like the tuna. It has a very silky texture, mild flavors. Very enjoyable. I like the tuna here a lot. A bit of a bitter kick coming from the salsa here. And there's a bit of an earthy richness here. Something kind of like refried beans, but definitely not refried beans. It does ground a lot of the flavors, and it's most present in the aftertaste. I do like that. While initially it was a little bit off-putting, it does come together well. That is a nice dish right there. All right, everyone, now that's all of the appetizers I'm trying today. I'm gonna go and take a few more bites and then box this all up to go, and then we'll do our first round of entrees. Don't go anywhere, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. My first round of entrees just got here. This is looking very good. Let me give you a view. I got their vegan tamal as well as their quesadilla tacos, their quesadilla, their lamb rib costillas, and their fried shrimp Baja tacos. It's all looking really tasty. Let's give it a try. I'm gonna kick things off with the Baja shrimp tacos. Some really fat tacos here. They've absolutely stuffed these with shrimp. Hopefully it tastes good. Shrimp taco. Oh, that is really good. Starting off with this blue corn tortilla. This definitely had a more robust corn flavor than I had with the other tortillas so far, though a slightly more grainy and rustic texture. It still held up nicely to the weight of this absolutely stuffed to the brim taco, and so I really appreciate that tortilla. Very tasty fried shrimp here. A nice fry to it, a crispy exterior, and you still get that briny shrimp flavor in the center. A very good fried shrimp. The remoulade sauce that they're using for the shrimp taco is really the star. Not only is it creamy and rich, there's a bit of a smoky spiciness to it. It adds so much extra depth to this taco. It's a fantastic sauce. They actually do have some of the guacamole in here as well. And whereas I thought on its own it was a little bit too acidic, it actually works very nicely in this taco. A really nice melody of flavors. This all comes together beautifully. Big fan of the shrimp taco. That was really tasty. Next up, we're going in on the tamale. I went ahead and got a nice little cross section of the tamale here. Beautiful green sauce. Hopefully this tastes good. Here's the tamale. Yeah, not bad. Now, as I was biting into this, I thought a few of the flavors fell a bit flat, but then I came to realize that this is a vegan dish. The expected richness of the cheese was a little bit lighter, but there's still a nice amount of saltiness there. And that vegan feta was the first thing to hit my palate, so it did set a bit of a salty stage. I do like this verde sauce. It's quite thick, a little bit nutty, with a bit of a fresh flavor to it also. A nice amount of cilantro has been blended into the sauce. The corn aspect of the tamale is actually quite good. A little bit of an earthy, sweet flavor to that corn. And the taste of the corn is the predominant flavor here. While visually there's a filling, I don't taste too much of it. Even with subsequent bites, I wasn't really able to distinguish a lot of the flavors and textures there. After the cheese and the sauce, you really just taste the corn. Bit of a plain dish for my taste. I'd say that's just okay. Next up, quesadillas. I really do like the grill marks on this quesadilla, although I will say it's pretty small. I guess in general the portions here aren't exactly huge, but hopefully it tastes good. Let's see how it is. Yeah, you know what? That's pretty good. Firstly, a very nice cook to the tortilla, a slight crisp to that exterior, but still soft and pliable, a bit of a smoky flavor from that grill also. A nice tortilla here. The chicken tinga in the center is very good. Tender and juicy chicken meat with a slightly smoky seasoned blend works well here, complemented by the richness of some Monterey Jack cheese. The quesadilla is served along with two sauces. Something like an avocado salsa, it actually is very nice, very mild in spice, with a bit of that avocado richness, and a much more smoky chipotle salsa here. In general, this is good. Now, personally, size-wise, I could probably eat about 3 or 4 of these, but flavor-wise, they're actually quite good. Next up, the quesadilla tacos. Definitely one of my favorite Mexican foods. We'll give it a dip into the consomme here. And hopefully this tastes good. Quesadilla taco. You know, I can't say I'm a big fan of this one. Now, I do like the tortilla for this taco. A bit of a rich crisp to it. You can certainly get a little bit of that corn flavor. The tortilla here is nice. Now, this tastes very much to me like a lamb birria. And so I was going into it expecting something like goat or beef. And so the lamb was a little bit off-putting. While it has been relatively well seasoned, there is still a very strong musky flavor to that lamb. It is quite pungent and overpowering. The consomme, while it is flavorful on its own, it's unfortunately quite thin. I would have preferred a much more viscous consomme, something that can really adhere and stick to the taco as you dip it. This is just a little bit watery for my taste. So it's a bit of a shame that those flavors couldn't become more known in the bite. If you're a fan of lamb, though, I think you'll really like this. I'm much more of a beef or goat birria guy, though, so this wasn't exactly it for me. Okie dokie, next up, lamb costillas. We have some lamb ribs here, covered in some kind of a barbecue sauce. And if you watch the channel long enough, you know I'm not the biggest fan of lamb, but I certainly come to appreciate good preparations of it. Here's the lamb. Oh, that was good. Incredibly soft, tender, and juicy lamb meat. A nice soft chew to that, very satisfying to eat. They've actually cooked out a lot of that pungent, musky flavor, so I really do like the taste here. This barbecue sauce is so intriguing. It's an ancho chili-based barbecue sauce, and so while it is sweet and smoky, there's also those notes of fruit and chocolate that comes with that ancho chili. It does make for a nice complex flavor here. A nice lamb dish, I like that a lot. All right, everyone, now the last bite I'm trying from this first round of entrees is going to be the slaw that came along with my lamb costillas. Nice looking slaw here. Hopefully it's good. Let's give it a try. Yeah, that's good. A nice and crunchy cabbage slaw. Some fresh vegetables here. This is nice. The natural sweetness from the carrots and beets here are quite tasty. The produce here is all fine. I actually really like the dressing for the slaw. It's not heavy at all, provides a nice light richness, and the flavors come in 2 waves. Initially, you get something very akin to a chili powder, something very smoky, but eventually that gives way to a bit more of a tangy flavor, the vinegar eventually taking over, rounding out the bite. Good flavors here, nicely seasoned slaw. I like that just fine. All right, everyone, now that's all of the food I'm trying from my first round of entrees. A few more bites, I'm gonna box this all up to go, and then we'll do our second round. Don't go, I'll be right back. And welcome back, everyone. It's time for my last round of entrees, and it just arrived. Let me give you a view. I got an order of their enchiladas as well as their salmon, their chicharron pork belly, skirt steak carne asada, and their papa side. This is all looking really tasty. Let's give it a try. First up, the salmon. Now the chef prepares this medium rare, and it's served in some kind of a reddish sauce. Hopefully it's good. Here's the salmon. Oh yeah, that's tasty. A bit of a smoky char flavor from that crispy skin, but ultimately it gives way to this beautifully moist fish. Nice mild flavors here, it's also been seasoned well. I really do like how you get the smoky flavors up front, leading into the much more mild and sweet flavors of the salmon eventually. A bit of a tangy, smoky flavor coming from this sauce, very akin to something like an enchilada sauce. It does go well with the salmon. A tasty dish right there, I like that. Next up, the carne asada. Now you're able to order the carne asada as a skirt steak, a filet mignon, or a New York strip. But to me, a carne asada is skirt steak. So that's what I've got here, prepared medium rare. Let's give it a try. Yeah, you know what, not bad. A very nice cook to the skirt steak, a smoky sear on the exterior, and a lightly warm pink center. They absolutely hit that medium rare cook. While the meat is juicy, I wouldn't exactly say this is the most tender cut of beef. It was a little bit tough toward the center. Now, while it is a nice steak, unfortunately, I wouldn't say this is a great carne asada. I don't really taste a lot of those smoky and tangy and savory flavors that I'm expecting from a good carne asada blend. In general, this is well seasoned. There is some good flavors here, but it just kind of tastes like a well seasoned skirt steak. Nothing really carne asada about it. That's a little disappointing. while not a bad steak, I'm kind of in the mood for carne asada, so in that regard, it was a bit disappointing. Next up, the chicharron pork belly. Now this is a dish that my server told me put Chef Ray Garcia on the map, so I had to give it a shot. I've got a nice chunk of the pork here. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is really good. I can definitely see why this dish put him on the map. It's really tasty. What a great cook to this pork. An addictingly satisfying crunch to that exterior. That skin is so crispy. It's really fun to bite into. I like that a lot. Incredibly succulent, soft, and juicy pork meat in the center. It's served in a mojo broth, and it's incredibly garlicky and tangy. Lots of acid, a fair amount of lemon juice in this. Some very fresh and vibrant flavors. You get the parsley, the garlic. This is really, really tasty. A really good dish there. I like that a lot. Next up, enchilada. I believe these are chicken enchiladas, and enchiladas are definitely one of my favorite Mexican foods. Let's give this a try. Yeah, it's pretty good. Some really good elements to these enchiladas. Starting with the tortilla. While these are not the blue corn tortillas that we had earlier, they do still have a nice robust corn flavor and a nice elasticity to the texture. It's doing its job just fine. The chicken here is very nice. The same chicken tinga that we saw earlier. It's juicy and tender with a nice smoky flavor. An enjoyable chicken here for sure. There's some kind of a cream sauce inside. I want to say it's feta cheese based. It provides a nice salty richness. All of that is good. Unfortunately, I would say I'm just okay with the enchilada sauce. While there is a nice amount of heat and some spice up front, and a nice smokiness coming from some peppers, unfortunately it has a very severe bitter aftertaste. It's really not all that pleasant. It is pretty good, but I wish that sauce was just a little bit more balanced. All right, everyone, and the last bite I'm trying from my food today is gonna be their papas. This is their potato side, topped with what looks like a queso fresco. Let's give these a shot. Oh yeah, those are good. A very flavorful potato side. Starting with the cook on the potatoes, I actually really like this. Crispy exterior, pillowy centers. A nice shallow fry to these potatoes actually makes them very enjoyable to eat. Nicely seasoned, you absolutely get those natural starchy flavors. I really do like the potatoes here. There is something like a very light sauce layer. It is quite salty, though a little bit smoky and spicy. It really does provide a nice flavor profile for these potatoes. An additional salty richness coming from the cotija cheese here. It does come together well. A nice potato side right there. All right, everyone, now that's all of the food I'm trying today. A few more bites, I'm gonna box this all up to go, and then we'll do some dessert next. Don't go anywhere because sweets are coming up. And welcome back, everyone. It's time for some dessert, and I just got the dessert menu. Let's take a look over it together. So here is your dessert menu at Viva. Let's go and take a look. We have churros and fresca con crema. You got those strawberries there. A pastel, a flan, tres leches cake. Ooh, that sounds really good. As well as ice cream down here. You get 3 scoops between corn tortilla ice cream. That sounds, man, some interesting sounding desserts here at Viva. If we flip it on over, we do have some after dinner drinks. A coco chata, that sounds pretty interesting. Espresso martini. Yeah, feel free to take a pause in the video if you'd like to take a closer look at these drinks. But all of your after dinner drinks here. Very, very nice. And there's your dessert menu at Viva. A nice looking dessert menu here at Viva. I'm gonna get my order in, and for all of you at home, I'm gonna make that dessert appear right now. And here it is, everyone. My tres leches cake is here. I always love a good tres leches cake, and this is looking really nice. Hopefully it's as good as it looks. Tres leches cake. Oh yeah, that's good. Now this is a solid cake, a spongy cake texture, it's well baked, and along with that tres leches sauce, it really ends up being a satisfyingly moist bite. I love the meringue on top. It's incredibly airy and sweet, and it's a very nice addition when it comes to the sweetness of this cake. The natural sweetness of the berries here working very well, delivering some additional complementing flavors to the cake. This is all very nice. A very satisfying way to end the meal. I like that. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for my dinner here at Viva by Ray Garcia at the Resorts World Las Vegas. My dinner this evening came out to $418 before tip. I certainly enjoy a good Mexican meal, and I definitely had a good time here at Viva. I really like the queso fundido from the appetizer round, and the Baja shrimp tacos were easily my favorite dish from that first round of entrees. I could see why the chicharron pork belly is a signature item here. It was very, very good. And they do have a solid tres leches cake here. I enjoyed that immensely. If you're looking for some fine Mexican dining or you're staying at the Resorts World, this is what you can expect at Viva by Ray Garcia. All right, everyone, now that's going to do it for this Saturday video where I continue my quest to vlog every restaurant on the Las Vegas Strip as well as downtown on Fremont Street. Coming this Tuesday, I'm going to be returning from a much more local spot here in the Valley. Make sure you come back for that one. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a fantastic weekend, and I hope you enjoyed Vegas with me, Shin. Bye.